Wemby needs more help, and in about a month, he might just get it. You see, if we're being honest, the Spurs are in a tough phase. One of those phases where, as a fan, it requires a lot of patience. They haven't made the playoffs since 2019, and before they landed Wembanyama in last year's draft, they really ain't even have a star to entertain them. Now, I know they had DeMar DeRozan for a little bit, so it's no disrespect to him, but still. The point is, Spurs fans are ready for brighter days, feel me? They ready for the sun to come out. And the way it's looking after landing the 4th pick in the upcoming draft, the brighter days might just be ahead. You see, when I look at the Spurs team top to bottom, one thing I definitely feel like them boys are missing is great guard play. No offense to Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, or even Malachi, but a guy like Trey Jones especially would not be a starter on a playoff squad. I know he passes the rock real nice, his playmaking skills are great, but for a starter, his shot making ability is suspect, and I believe they need someone else in that position who can spark up for real. And according to ESPN's best remaining prospects list for the upcoming draft, a player that fits these needs should be available with that 4th pick. And that's Kentucky's 6'3" Robert Dillingham, a guy who I personally feel like should damn near go number 1, just because I view him that highly and because the number 1 pick in this year's draft, bro, is such a toss-up. However, if things go the way ESPN predicts, oh boy, Spurs fans should be happy because this man is an instant offense guard. He believes in unselfish basketball, and to make matters even better, he's already been asked about the Spurs a couple times, and he's had none but great things to say about Wemby. So yeah, in today's video, I'm gonna basically explain why Rob Dillingham to the Spurs would change everything for this team and why it needs to happen. So yeah, y'all go ahead and let me know in the comments, how do you feel about Rob's potential fit in a team like the Spurs? How high do you feel his ceiling is? Why or why not? All that good stuff. And yeah, man, really quick before I go any further, what's up YouTube? Plug Speaks back with another video. If you're new, first of all, welcome. Go ahead and sub. Also like the video if you enjoy. I upload quality basketball content and we're on the ground for 5K, so I'd most def appreciate it. But back to the vid though. So let me begin with actually going over the type of player Rob Dillingham is. For anyone who ain't too familiar, Rob is a 6'3" combo guard who mostly excited scouts for his shot creation and shot making abilities. In addition to his creativeness, electric playstyle, acrobatic, everything under the sun, damn it. And in the 32 games he played for Kentucky, bro averaged 15 points, just under 4 assists and 3 rebounds, on 47% shooting from the field and 44% shooting from 3. Just amazing efficiency right there. Mind you, that 44% from 3 came off nearly 5 attempts per game, and overall, his production came off an average of 23 minutes per game off the bench. It's pretty crazy. Go ask any Kentucky fan what Rob would have done as a starter with closer to 30 minutes per game, and they'll have a lot to tell you because that'll forever be a mystery. But anyway, the point is, Rob's best attribute is indeed the fact that he's a bucket. Whether it be off spotting up, creating off the dribble, a jumper in the mid-range, an explosive drive to the rim, the list goes on and on. Rob puts points on the board. His season high was a 35-point performance in which he shot 14 for 20 from the field with 6 threes. And this offense is something that I already believe and know would be a game changer for the Spurs. You see, the Spurs held the 23rd best offense in the NBA this past season. On average, they were putting up 112 points on the board. Come on now. Maybe 10 years ago that would be a lot, but in today's NBA game that won't get it done. And so I believe Rob's presence on the Spurs would eventually take some weight off Wembanyama's shoulders to be the leading scorer every game. And it would shift some responsibility off of guys who really just aren't that capable in general, such as Trey Jones and, forgive me, but even Keldon Johnson to some extent. And yeah, beyond this, Rob does possess some impressive playmaking abilities. Now, I'll admit, in many of the games I watched, he tends to be spontaneous with it. He throws bullet passes at times, and he likes to get really creative. But when things connect, things go pretty well. And although he can score the rock, he welcomes the idea of fitting into whatever role teams need from him. And that's why I've been trying to tell y'all he's unselfish. Literally just recently at the draft combine, when he was asked about the Spurs, he admitted that he hasn't really spoken to them, but he feels that he'd be a good fit for them because he's willing to do whatever is asked of him. him. And me personally, when I seen that quote, two things came to mind. First, I was like, come on now, San Antonio. Now y'all need to at least have Rob do a workout for y'all. What more do you need to see? He's that guy. Go ahead and contact him. The fit makes sense, at least in my humble point of view. But yeah, secondly, I was like, yeah, what he said is great or whatever. You know, I'm sure plenty of fans feel like anybody in this position would say what you're supposed to say. I mean, he wants to get drafted as high as possible, obviously. However, in reality, it's a little different coming from Rob because, again, he truly sacrificed at Kentucky. I won't go too far into detail because we'd be here all day, but in short, he should have been the starting point guard for his team. He was more NBA ready than the guy they had playing that position, but due to a relationship between DJ Wagner's pops and former Kentucky coach Calipari, that starter position was sealed. And yet, Rob ain't complained, he just bought in, embraced that six-man role, and balled out. So yeah, it's pretty easy for me to believe he'd be willing to do whatever is asked for him. It's just the facts. But yeah, anyway, man, with all that I've said, I haven't even highlighted one of the main reasons Rob to the Spurs is just a no-brainer. Rob has spoken very highly of Wemby and has basically been on the record saying that he wants to be the second option for a guy like him. I'll throw the quote on the screen and y'all tell me what you take from this. He literally praised Wemby and said that he's coming to give him the ball so Wemby can feast. This is coming from a potential #1 prospect in the upcoming draft. Now listen, I know Wemby's amazing, he's crazy good. But I don't care who it is, how many top prospects would openly say this? Especially for a guy who just finished their rookie year. Probably not many. So because of that, amongst other things I've mentioned, I'm sold on Rob to the Spurs. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. But anyway, real quick before I let y'all go and end the video, I must point out some of my few concerns with this potential situation. First of all, Rob is an offensive beast, but damn is he a defensive liability. He's not going to strap many players up, and it's not like he doesn't try or anything, but his defensive efforts rarely catch attention because he rarely stops anybody. And then beyond that, his shot selection is iffy. Probably because a lot of players with his abilities and shot making skills, they genuinely think they can hit damn near every shot. So that can be a problem at times. And then of course, like any other guard, he can be turnover prone at times. But hey man, many of these issues can be polished, and I'm sure Popovich's coaching would benefit him in these areas. So there's that. Also, speaking of Greg Popovich, I'm not gonna lie y'all, at first, man, I wasn't so sure about Rob's fit on a team like the Spurs. Just because I low-key feared his creativity being contained under a coach like Greg Popovich, who really likes to be strict with his bread and butter of traditional basketball. And matter of fact, I'm really interested on what y'all think about this, especially if you're a Spurs fan. Let me know in the comments. Do you think that Rob would be contained? Do you think that Greg would give him the freedom and the green light to play hella loose and free? Because I do believe that Rob would need that type of environment to really thrive. Now, I will admit, I'm no longer too fearful of it because clearly I don't watch enough Spurs basketball. When doing my research, I seen the Spurs ranked top 10 in three-point shot attempts this past NBA season with 36 shots a game. So, hey, at least to some extent, man, Popovich knows what's up. He's adapted to modern day basketball, and I don't think he'll have too much of an issue with it. But yeah, man, with that being said, that's about all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all watching this video, man. Make sure to like this up, share it, sub if new. Let me know your thoughts below. I steady reply to y'all. We be having great conversation. And yeah, man, I'll see you on the next one, and I'm out.